In the lowest point on Earth, where nothing has survived for 2,000 years, life is suddenly returning. The Sea of Death is waking up. Is the Earth itself preparing for the Third Temple? For centuries, the Dead Sea has lived up to its name. Nestled at the bottom of the world, more than 1,400 feet below sea level, it is a place of extreme hostility. It has stood as a symbol of judgment, the watery grave of Sodom and Gomorrah, a place where time and life came to a permanent standstill. The phenomenon of the freshwater sinkholes, as the main body of the Dead Sea recedes, it is leaving behind a fractured coastline. But instead of a barren wasteland, something unexpected is emerging. Normally, a sinkhole is a sign of disaster, but here they are becoming cradles of life. To the casual observer, it's a curious quirk of nature. A vision of Ezekiel 47. To understand why this is shaking the world of biblical archaeology, we have to go back 2,500 years to the prophet Ezekiel. In the 47th chapter of his book, he describes a scene that seemed poetic, perhaps even metaphorical, until now. Ezekiel describes a small trickle of water seeping out from under the threshold of the temple. As the water flows east toward the desert, it begins to grow. The prophet is told that this water is headed for the Arabah, the desert plain, and will eventually empty into the Dead Sea. The scripture is startlingly specific. When it empties into the sea, the salty water there becomes fresh. But today, it is becoming a geographic reality. The healing of the waters is happening in the exact location Ezekiel described. The timing of this awakening cannot be ignored. We are currently witnessing a dual-track fulfillment of prophecy. On one hand, we have the judgment narrative of the Euphrates River. As the Euphrates dries up, it reveals ancient caves and ruins, sparking fears of the four-bound angels mentioned in the book of Revelation. But the Dead Sea is the redemption narrative. While one river dries up as a sign of judgment, a Dead Sea begins to live as a sign of restoration. They are the clocks of the apocalypse ticking in unison. According to Ezekiel, The water that heals the sea must come from the Temple Mount. The geological shift skeptics will argue that this is simply a result of shifting water tables and environmental changes. The receding of the Dead Sea is a man-made environmental crisis caused by the diversion of the Jordan River. However, the result is the exposure of these hidden freshwater springs. The receding salt water is revealing a hidden plumbing system that has been dormant since the days of Abraham. Because in the prophetic sequence, the restoration of the land precedes the restoration of the house. In the 19th century, Mark Twain visited Israel and described it as a hopeless, dreary, heartbroken land. Now we are entering the third stage, the healing of the water. In Jewish tradition, the third temple isn't just a building for prayer. It is a conduit of divine energy that heals the entire planet. They have recreated the priestly garments, the silver trumpets, and the altar. They are watching these fish in the Dead Sea with a sense of urgency. The spiritual implication. What does this mean for us? The Dead Sea awakening is a message of hope. If God can bring fish to the Dead Sea, a place so toxic that it was used as a metaphor for eternal judgment, then he can bring life to any dead area of your world. The drying of the Euphrates warns us that time is short. The awakening of the Dead Sea tells us that the kingdom is coming. We are living in the days of the double sowing. The world is being pruned and prepared at the same time. Conclusion: the Valley of Decision. As the sinkholes continue to open and the greenery continues to spread across the salt flats, the world stands in a valley of decision. You can look at these signs as mere coincidences, or you can see them as the groanings of creation, eager for the return of the King. The Dead Sea is no longer a monument to what was destroyed in the fire of Sodom. It is becoming a monument to what will be restored in the glory of the coming temple. The fish are swimming. The water is flowing. The desert is breathing. The question isn't whether the prophecy is true. The fish are already proving that. The question is, are you ready for the water to reach you? The earth is preparing. The signs are surfacing. The sea of death is waking up, and it is telling us that the end of the story isn't death. It is a new beginning.